Alright, here we are back again. We're going to start the car up, talk a little bit more about the interior maybe. Um, you saw the passenger side interior, you didn't see the driver's side. Again, the interior is all original. You can tell that it's starting to come apart here along one of the, it's not a seam, but it's part of the design within the vinyl. It's starting to split in a couple places, so when it's cold out, I'm really careful about how I get how careful I get my fat ass in and out of this car, because it is starting to show signs of wear. So anyway, get in here and start it up. If I can find the damn key. Cold-blooded bitch. You can see the cold lights on. It is a little bit cold-blooded. Kind of got to feather the throttle a little bit and talk nasty to it or talk sweet to it, however you want to do it. So, like I said, you can't see anything, but dash is all original, and the only thing that's been done to it is there's a down here. There's a factory, or excuse me, an aftermarket cassette player that my father-in-law put in there, and that easily comes out. It's a undermount installation, so the installation holes wouldn't be able to wouldn't be hard to conceal. So we'll get out and take a look at the engine. Obviously we already looked at it, but it's got a little bit of an exhaust leak on the passenger side. You can hear it hissing a little bit. Probably just the gasket. I don't think anything's cracked, but the only thing I've done to this motor is messed with the timing, the dwell, change the oil a couple times, but that's about it. Everything's in really good running order, and I drive it once every couple weeks or so and keep it moving, keep it running. Got a little bit of a lope to it, especially once it settles down. You can really tell, once it warms up, you can really tell that it's got a little bit of a lope to it. I don't know anything about cams, but got a buddy that tells me that it sounds a little bit like it might have a mild cam in it. And the engine was rebuilt right after my father-in-law got it, probably about 20 years ago or so, 22 years ago. But I don't know if he had any cam work done to it or a cam replacement done. But so I'll shut it off so you can hear me. So that's it. You can see that it runs well. It's pitch black outside, so I'm not even going to bother getting dressed and taking it back out and running her, but eventually I'll post a video of her being driven. The plan with this car, my plan with this car, as I told a couple other people on YouTube, is to take it down for a couple years here in the next couple months, and start taking care of those couple of problem areas as far as the quarter panel and front fender. Because of the damage here on the left quarter panel, I can see, especially in the sunlight, a couple of wrinkles or ripples. Probably a product of the damage that happened back there. But basically just start working this thing bit by bit and getting it back in the shape that it was once in, if not better. The engine, I'd like to try to keep the original engine, but the fact that there's very little power off the line, it doesn't really doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, I'd like to have a little more performance out of it than I have right now. So I don't know, maybe do some work. I know there are a lot of mods you can do to a small block Chevy in general. So thought about doing some of those types of things to the engine and getting a little bit more performance out of it. I'm not necessarily concerned about economy because I drive this thing maybe once every couple weeks, and when I do that, no more than say 10-15 miles at one time. So that's the plan. You know, I'd like to do a complete frame off uh, or frame up restoration, but obviously time and money are the things that everybody struggles with. In space, you can tell my shop isn't huge. It's only 24 by 30, and I've got an F-150 pickup that I keep in here on a normal basis. So trying to find all the space to be able to do this, I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this junk that that I have and use some of that to store the parts as I pull them off. But the biggest thing is the fact that I think I've got, having never done this before, I'm pretty mechanically inclined, but I've never done any kind of auto restoration, body work, or anything like that. But I think I've got a pretty good starting point. A lot better than I would have had a few years ago. I had a 65 Galaxy that wasn't even close to being in this kind of shape. That thing was a rat's nest, to say the least. Ran like a bat out of hell, but that was about the only thing that was going for it. But like I said, I think I have a pretty good starting point, and I think my father-in-law would be pretty stoked to see this thing torn apart and redone. He's about 70 years old and obviously doesn't have the spunk that he once had. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, and any advice you guys have. I've already gotten advice from Pete over at Southwest Rod and Custom as far as some of the stuff that I wanted to do, and giving me words of encouragement. But if you guys got anything for me and any ideas or feedback, advice, whatever you want to call it, or if you even want to just tell me to screw off, that'd be fine too. I'm pretty easy to get along with. So, like I said, hit me up, either email or on Gmail or on YouTube, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.